Hello and welcome to Bullet Bill's Big Three. I'm your host Baron Marth, and I'm joined as always by the legend himself, the one and only Angry Link. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, getting there.
Getting there.
Enjoying my legendary status.
Good stuff, good stuff. So, Bullet Bill's Big Three, it's the news. It's a wrap-up of the week, and where we pull out the bounties, and I guess the best way to explain is initially we hit a bounty each, and then we follow up with a little bonus bounty, and whoever gets it, we're keeping a little score at the moment. Link's been running away with the crowd, 5-3 to Link at the moment.
It's not a complete whitewash yet, really. You've got a few points on the board, so you've broken the duck.
There's potential for comeback, shall we say?
There is.
So busting straight into the first bounty of the week, what you got?
Again, the final confirmation of the April Eurogamer rumour of the SNES Mini.
Yeah.
So it's been confirmed. 21 games.
Blown up all over the internet, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's just insane. I mean, there is some pretty solid games.
What's on there?
Well, there's two different sets. Obviously, you've got the Japanese region games and then the American and European.
Yep.
So there's only 5 different games. So if I go through the Japanese ones first, so they've got Fire Emblem Mystery of the Emblem.
Okay.
So that's probably like the second or third Fire Emblem game, because there's loads on the NES. Legend of Mystical Ninja, the old Konami game.
Right.
Panel de Pon, which I have no idea what that is.
I don't recognise many of these, actually.
No. And Super Soccer, which I don't recognise, but, it's soccer or football. And then Super Street Fighters 2, the new challenges.
For those who haven't just bought the final challenges.
Yeah. So if I go then onto the EU and US exclusive games, we've got Earthbound, which is Mother 3.
Mother 2, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It is, sorry, Mother 2. Kirby's Dream Course.
Amazing.
Super Castlevania 4.
Yeah, classic.
Super Punch-Out.
Honestly, one of the best, just hardcore Nintendo games, like the whole left, right, A, B,
basic, such simple mechanics, but the challenge is the thing that brings you back. This is what like indie developers are doing now, isn't it? It's you take a few basic mechanics and you hone the shit out of them, like Hyper Light Drifter. That's just taking the pure simple sort of Zelda-esque, like Link to the Past gameplay, adding a couple of little dashes in there and just going right, tweak. That's fucking perfect. For
anybody who wants to see one of the greatest examples of basic indie, real basic controls making an amazing game, go look at One Finger Death Punch, or Single, or something like that. But just Google it, you'll find it's a stick man, and all you do is press one button to punch left and one button to punch right. It's amazing. I mean,
there's loads and loads of games on Android and iOS for those kind of things, isn't there?
But do check it out. Well worth it. It's on it's on Android and iOS as well. So
and obviously we're not missing out on the Street Fighter goodness. So we've got Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighters, which I have learned is supposedly the inferior version.
Yes.
Obviously the Japanese one's got the better one, but we get something better than our American cousins over the pond. We get the proper SNES with the nice coloured buttons. Not that horrible purple monstrosity. We actually get the Famicom shape.
It looks like it's like the GoBot versus the Transformers of the UK version one. It just doesn't look like it was.
Well, it's the same reason that we didn't get the Famicom. It's just like, the Americans, they won't like it if it looks like that. We need to make it look like a VCR, which is why the NES looked like the NES, and we didn't get a Famicom. Because I'd have loved the Famicom, because you've got the little controller bits on the side. It was amazing. Anyway, I digress. So they're the exclusive games. Carrying on with the list, which are obviously on both sets.
Or
all 3 sets. Contra 3 Alien Wars, which is fucking unbelievable. Amazing game.
I love Contra.
Donkey Kong Country, which enough said. Final Fantasy 3, one of the greats.
Okay.
F-Zero, again, a fine example of the Mode 7.
That's just classic.
Kirby Superstar, so some more Kirby goodness.
I love Kirby. I don't know why. It's such a simple game, but I love it.
Legends of Zelda Link to the Past, which you got obviously
just
have.
Obligatory, isn't it, really?
Indeed. Mega Man X, Super Metroid.
Yep.
Secret of Mana, which I thought was only exclusive to Japan, which I've obviously later since revised my knowledge, and I realise it's not. So I'm now excited that I can play Secret of Mana, but I probably won't be able to get SNES. So yeah, we've got Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG,
Classic. That's great.
The Legend of the Seven Stars, Super Mario World, and Yoshi's Island. So we'll actually get a proper port of that, or an emulation of that, because obviously the Game Boy one or the Game Boy Advance one was didn't have the same. Obviously they had to work it around the Game Boy as opposed to obviously they can emulate it properly. But the big one is Star Fox 1 and 2.
Yeah, so Star Fox 2, couldn't believe that.
That was the big news.
Well, actually, not only could I not believe it,
Dylan Cuthbert couldn't, the original lead programmer for it.
Nobody told him.
Yeah.
By the way, your game's coming out. They tweeted an image of them all sat down having a little celebratory
like,
meal.
yay,
Just like,
20 years later, finally release party.
We found out with the rest of society.
Yeah. No, that's cool though. It's awesome news.
I mean, that's a big game as well. That's not like it's not like when they said Earthbound was coming out and there's a cult following. This is like the mainstream heavy hit of the SNES with the FX chip back in the day. This is like the biggest game they did.
Well, and the thing is about it, this game was finished. This was literally ready to box, send off to master.
Yeah.
And get shipped. It was literally
that's only the way they can release it now, because the developers didn't know about it.
No. Well, the problem was it came out at a time when obviously the PlayStation had come out. Whilst Star Fox 2 was a big sort of, there's a lot more graphical upgrades in there and it's a lot more elaborate, and there's a bigger FX chip that they used for it. It's basically essentially double the size, so they could put a hell of a lot more onto it. Yeah, you had the PlayStation and it kind of just looked Look at Star Fox 2, look at aren't you sweet, trying hard.
Bless them.
Exactly, so
3D,
it kind of pushed on to Star Fox 64, Lilac Wars.
Which was amazing.
Unbelievable game. But I think they still could have sold Star Fox 2, but now it's kind of...
It's cold.
They've basically, in the same way that the NES Classic was always going to be a big seller because they said, we're only making a few. This is like, we're making Star Fox 2. You know, the game that you could never ever play, or you've got those shitty unfinished emulations online. You can get the proper thing now on a proper SNES controller, on a proper SNES that's mini, and it's going to be harder than rocking horse shit to find.
Yeah.
So, which obviously leads me to the final point. It's now already within 4 or 5 days of release. Insanely hard to get.
Sold out immediately everywhere. Amazon within 3 minutes.
If you look at, I think Eurogame had a story. It was like, update, such and such has got stock. Update, like 20 minutes later, not anymore. Update, such and such has got stock. 20 minutes later, not anymore.
Yep.
So it's pretty much that. eBay's going to make a killing. eBay are going to do very well.
Was it 70 or 80 quid, is it?
70, yeah. Nintendo, from the official, $69.99, yeah.
Or on eBay, £200.
Yeah, for a pre-order.
Yeah.
But Nintendo have promised better stocks this time. But do you know, I think it's one of those. I think Nintendo, like with the Amiibos, they're going to be like, do you know what, lads? We're a bit hard up this month.
Just about.
Few more NES series. We'll actually release the Famicom in Europe. You're right. Bam! There's another £1 billion in the bank.
Do you know what? I don't endorse this in any way, and nor does Bullet Bill's Big 3 or Eat Soup Game, but with all the abilities to... I mean, I saw SNES games like Super Mario World being played through a website on an Xbox the other day.
Yeah.
It's a hard push. You know, people haven't spent that sort of money for it.
It is a complete nostalgia trip.
That's all it is, yeah. And it's how much are you willing to spend for nostalgia?
The problem is Earthbound. That's
you can play all of these.
I know. But to be able to, you always maybe wanted to play that game on a SNES controller, like the good old days. And it's because it's a cute little SNES.
Brutal.
And you can plug in Bluetooth controllers as well. You can get the adapters, so...
Or just use your Xbox controller.
Well, yeah.
Right, so there we go, folks. Shifting over to our second bounty for this week. I'm in, and do you remember the day of yesteryear? Do you remember your Micro Machines, on your Mega Drive?
Mega Drive Micro Machines was Unbelievable.
I remember like some of the tracks where you're like going through the gardens, you'd be on like a pathway, there'd be like
the pool
flowers
tables.
in the way. Yeah, pool table.
Kitchens with bouncy jellies and whatnot. And
yeah.
you get stuck in stuff.
And, cards.
Unbelievable.
Playing cards left on the side.
Like, I mean, we were really excited.
Do you remember like the workshop with the screws?
Oh, amazing. There was so many great themes and
little environments
to use. We were really excited to find out that their Codemasters, the original developers, were making a new one.
The guys who know it. Yeah. I mean, like, so how many years are we talking? Got to be like 20, 25 years.
So 20 odd years.
And so we heard that there's an announcement that Micro Machines World Series was coming out. It wasn't too far away either, actually.
No.
It was, we're talking a couple of months.
It's proper old school Micro Machines, just brought up with now 3D models as opposed to top down flat models.
Yeah, I mean, they chucked some additional stuff in there. I was watching the video trailer beforehand. There was like some more weapons and stuff, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Maybe that's the upgrade.
I think you're being somewhat misleading with they've chucked in a few more things. Well, they've basically stripped the fucker out.
Well, the thing is when I was watching the trailer, I was really impressed because I was actually like, hey, this is what it's all about. And they did this classic thing where they put hungry.
I was going to say you're going to mention the hungry.
So they did the classic thing where they put hungry hippos in there, and for all of those kids who sort of grew up in the 90s and that sort of late 80s, early 90s, it's just a massive nostalgia trip. So we're all like kind of excited about it, and the reviews are out, and lots of people have been playing it. It's available now, $24.99. Go spend your money, but not according to the reviews.
No.
I mean, Metacritic has currently published it about 63%.
Which I think is somewhat generous.
Well, I think it's very generous. So the biggest bitch of the bunch is that most people are complaining about the fact it's got no single player.
Well, it's got really nothing other than online.
It's a online experience with some variation on matches. Is it, when you get like Mario Kart, something like that, you've got the battle modes, and then and they all kind of feel like the novelty use of your car in a funny little situation online.
Well, it's one of those, isn't it, that when you get to a point that you really enjoy playing Mario Kart, you're trying to do that GP and you're getting fucked on it and you're getting absolutely bent over. You get annoyed, you turn it off, but you still want to continue to play Mario Kart. Oh, I've got a bit of battle with my mates here, we can do it with 2-player, or if you're on the 64 days, you've got 4 of us. Yeah, you can have the rugby controller. You obviously social order. We all knew that. But yeah, it just seems that they've taken the one thing that was great about, like Mario Kart, it's the GP, it's the racing. Like, where's all of that? And going through and unlocking all of the new vehicles and characters and. Like
getting to a desert level and being like, how am I going to rinse this? And
is it me though? Do you look at the game and it's like they've gone, we need to make a prototype just to make sure it'll work. But as opposed to saying, and you look at the Mega Drive game and it looks like that they've come back from the future and like this will work here. We know what we've done, but we haven't got the technology to do what we want. What we would have done today.
I don't know. I mean,
it seems a fucking weird decision to strip everything out.
I just looked at it and I'm just like, for me, if somebody said, "Do you remember Worms?" or "Do you remember, whatever game, And they said, "Go back and remake Pac-Man. Go back and you don't see Pac-Man like stripping out the main essence of going through the main tournament of the game and just like incremental level growth, or not,
It's just a high score bash, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the core mechanic of the game, and or not mechanic, but design of the game. And it was the same with Micro Machines. It was supposed to be there from day one. We know that what we all loved about Micro Machines was the fact that you had the main game where you were exploring through. And also you could play it with your mates. As in, like, there was a multiplayer options on there.
Yeah.
They've just gone, here's an online battle arena effectively, and crack on.
Because there's no races, and because how many? So there's no single player, but how many tracks is there? I mean, you're thinking like going back to the Mega Drive days. There was scores because you could build a big map and you could have all kinds of different things all the way through it, and it was just basically one different set of maps and grids. But so you think you could do something easy like that with the power of the PlayStations and the Xboxes and the PCs nowadays?
The thing is, to me, this whole game says to me what we should have done is just go really truthful to the original version, even if we just did it like as a little £15 game or £10 game or something like that.
Yeah, just make it 3D
and watch people enjoy going round corners. You remember that feeling? That's what people are looking for. Not all these like, I've got a truck which has got like a hose and a fire hydrant and a ladder, and it's great, but get the core game right first.
Yeah.
So anyway,
so that's at least 2 sales that they're not going to get.
Damn right. I'm so glad I didn't spend the cash.
I don't know. I'm going to take the cynical note on it as a final thought. I can't help but think that you're going to get like DLC packs. Is there a season pass?
No doubt there will be.
Or at least microtransactions.
Microtransaction the shit out of it. Till eventually it's a £70 game. Talking about very, very quick tangent. Don't like to do this in the news, but I'm going to do it anyway. Game came out Fortnite, done by Epic, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this game will be out roughly in about a year and a half, give or take, right? That's what they said. In the meantime, it's going to sit in preview for a while. You can buy it now for like
you've got like founders packs,
or up to like 120 quid. Yeah. When this game comes out, it's free. It's a free to play game.
Yeah.
They're just charging you £120 to play it now. That's dreadful. Really
well, it's
dreadful.
At least they're being honest. They've not done an Activision and gone, here's Destiny, it's a 10-year game. Wink.
Yeah. Although to be fair to them, what they are doing is in those £120 S bundles, they are throwing in 2 other copies of the game for you to give to other people.
That's cool.
So you can actually play it.
No, that's cool. So if you've got,
more about just if you want to buy the game for your mates, really. That's
it's
all
one of
it is.
It is one of those though. If you're like a gaming whale and you're like, seriously, dude, this game's amazing. You've got to play it. It's like, I literally cannot afford to. My baby's sick.
But how would you know unless you've already bought it? So you can either just blind buy it for 3 people.
Yeah.
Roll up the dice. So anyway, enough of that. Let's shift on over to the bonus bounty. So we're looking at a 5-3 score here, and lo and behold,
the arm is raised in the Alan Shearer-esque cheesy grin, running off to the corner flag. I've just elbowed you straight in the face and headed in for 6-3.
Go on then.
Well, GTA Online. I mean, this is a quick early tangent. Obviously, it's come back into the news again this week twice. Guess what was number 1 of the charts in sales?
Oh yeah.
4 years after release, finally knocking off Zumba, Fitness, whatever bollocks. GTA 5.
Wow.
4 years after release, or nearly 4 years after release, it's topped the charts once again. This game is unfucking believable. It's like 80 million copies sold.
Such a behemoth.
And we've found a flying saucer. Or, well, I say we. It's the like collective.
The community.
Yeah, the community, which, to be fair to them, are an aggressive, like conspiracy and alien hunters. They have taken this to the extremes that no man should ever need to know.
This is at a point now where
I bet they know the code better than Rockstar do.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is a very obvious thing to say, but it is literally a case of like closed walls for Rockstar, because the second anything drips out, they're just like,
yeah. Well, they're quite cunning. Rockstar keep putting in red herrings and all these bits and bobs. Like I'd no doubt. I bet they were the ones that started the Sasquatch ones back from San Andreas.
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, so anyway, we saw last week, we were talking about it a bit in one of the podcasts, weren't we? About obviously this new bit of mysterious code popping up since the Gunrunner update.
There was an egg. There was a plinth. There was a crashed ship.
There was scripts which obviously start up missions that popped up, events and stuff that happen with these triggers and strip triggers, blah blah blah. But the cunning little sleuths out of the community have actually put 2 and 2 together. They've obviously done a bit of code jiggery pokery and turned on a few bits of and here and there, and they found that there is a flying saucer mission. Well, not a flying saucer mission as such. There is a supply run for one of the bunker missions, which features a crashed UFO. So obviously you sort of travel down to Fort Zancudo, to a crashed spaceship. Obviously, I can't remember if there was guys there, like obviously Air Force or military. But once you've dispatched them or not, if they're not there, you go in. There's an egg or some small egg-like thing. You pick that up. Some ghosts or aliens turn up, or ghost aliens. Ghosts. I think we can get into that corn groove.
Vampire, zombie, alien ghosts, which are werewolves.
But yeah, you smash them up and then get in the vehicle and drive them back to your bunker.
Fair enough.
So it's one of those. I don't know if it's just an addition that they finally they've just thought we've got to throw them a bone, or we're going to do some more.
Well,
But
they
there's
had
more,
it, though, didn't they?
There's more and more to this Chiliad mystery.
Well, in the beginning, like, you had the storyline, and in there you go on that trip, don't you, smoking that crazy weed in the middle of town, and you end up shooting all those aliens. So I guess they're just now folding that into some online fun and games.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those, like we were saying before, or you were. You can't really hide much from them.
No.
I mean, last week it was a case of,
Ravenous.
all right, we've found some stuff that's, and then they've looked and put connections together, and like, oh, how about if we change this? And yeah, obviously we now get to see it online.
I mean, look what, Rockstar are doing all they
YouTube.
can do. They're throwing stuff in there to try and like throw them off the scent, but the truth of the matter is they're finding all of it. They're just like...
Yeah. Well, there are some things though that never panned out. Obviously, the casino one.
They found stuff, but was that red herrings, or was it just never going to happen, or was
Who
it?
knows?
Who knows?
But like you say, it's a mammoth beast of code, that fucking game.
6-3 Link.
6-3. So I suppose I should now leave it to you to follow up with the roundup.
Yeah. So as payment, it's the roundup section of the news. So
you've got to clean up all the vagabonds that
Nomad's got to run them to ground. Yeehaw! So my one that got kicked away was the Joker reimagined for Final Fantasy VII. Oh, sorry, not 7. Final Fantasy Universe. So I personally am a bit of a fan of the Batman canon and characters, and the Joker's such an essential character out of all of them.
Well, he is the yin to the yang.
He is exactly that. He is the nemesis of Batman. So Tetsuya Nomura, the chief designer over at Final Fantasy, he likes to dabble, likes to play around a little bit.
He clearly likes his Batman.
Yeah, so he's been working in some sort of Square Enix's DC Universe variant play arts Kai line, add more words to make it a thing.
Basically, it's just another series of Japanese figurines that you can buy.
It's just basically, we're going to get to the designer, we're going to get into license some figurines we want to do.
Well, it's one of those, isn't it? It's almost like DC are like, right, we don't get much traction in Japan. We really don't beat anime out or anything like that. We need some guy to do like an anime Batman.
Yep.
Right, off you go. That dude's pretty good. He's pretty popular.
Hey, he works on Final Fantasy. They love that game. Yeah.
So,
but I mean, to be fair, actually, Tetsuya Nomura's really embraced it. So back in 2014, July to October, he released Batman and Catwoman.
Yeah, I remember those when they released. They were pretty fucking cool.
Batman's really extreme.
Yeah.
It's like super armor, like over the top sort of spikes with red sort of.
Yeah, I think the guy's done quite a few, not necessarily just DC stuff, but different licensed ones as well, isn't he?
Yeah, so like you're saying, there's something like the Hulk.
I think so. I can't remember honestly. I it's one of those. There's so many of those little figurines that you see released that it's hard to keep track of.
But what I quite like about this stuff is where he's saying, right, I'm coming from a Final Fantasy sort of esque world, because I would have never accepted the Batman that I saw that he did until he said, yeah, but this is a Final Fantasy inspired one. I'm like, I can see that, and he looked fucking badass.
It's like he's a Japanese Batman.
Yeah,
and once you see him as obviously Wayne-san, then you think, oh yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Catwoman's like really over the top, like full face plate over, and all that sort of thing.
It's proper mech fucking suit inspired, isn't it?
Yeah.
But again, it's Final Fantasy anime kind of mixtures, and then it's
so as you may have guessed, where this is all alluding to is he's now finally come back and done the Joker, and it looks awesome. I mean, it looks really good. Loads of variations on it.
So when's this being released, and how long is it till they ship yours?
Right, so 1, I'm not buying one. 2, it's hideously expensive, and 3, it's out imminently, and I'm never looking at it again through fear of actually buying it. But like, just some really great design, really interesting ideas, really interesting slant on the Joker. Everything from a full-on like a playing card sort of like smiley long white face with like the jester hat on, through to like a trilby with a mask. They've got the red hood one. Just really interesting design.
It seems that whilst it's grossly over expensive, it's very well made, and it's a lot of reasons to want that you would enjoy it.
I think if you're a massive sort of fan of these sorts of things, and you like figurines, and you want something a little bit different that people walk in and go, oh cool, what's that? I think this is one of those items.
Okay, going back to price, I don't want an actual number, but we'll talk about like the kind of appliance that you would have to not have to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So we like a microwave. Like, no, I'll get that Joker thing instead of a microwave.
But bear
in mind, an average price for a microwave.
All right, let me rephrase this. How many figurines have you ever seen which aren't just tacked in with the game that you're buying sell for less than £120? The ones that you're actually interested in, the ones which look cool.
Yeah.
There we go.
Not many.
There we go.
Yeah.
So I think you know what sort. This is going to be, you're going to, first things first, you're not going to get them in the UK. You're going to have to import it. So it's going to be like $350 or some shit like that, and then import fees. Run.
It's not too bad because I've seen some fucking ridiculous ones.
Oh, dude, I gawped over the Mary Jane washing Spider-Man's uniform, like with a hot pants thing going on figurine for ages. It's not right. It's not healthy. Move on. So,
the roundup.
Let's shift on. Let's get some momentum in this roundup because, frankly, I just think about Mary Jane's crack. Flogging old stock. Argos are doing their thing. So, look, this is just... I don't usually hit up these ones at the beginning of sort of my little roundup section, but actually I thought this was such an amazing deal. I had to actually just shout it out. Argos, they're selling the Xbox S with the FIFA 17 bundle plus 2 other games. The games being like Forza Horizon and Overwatch. £200.
£200 for Xbox S and 3 games.
Yeah.
That is fucking unbelievable.
That's why I got to chuck it in the news. I just thought that was crazy. Moving on, Red Dead and its delay. So there's been some rumours of late that the reason why it's been delayed is because they're still pursuing crossplay between PlayStation 4 and Xbox.
I think it's some of a spurious rumour, really.
Well, I think...
Because we all know that Sony's just going to shut any of that shit down.
Well, as we know, no more than a week ago, but Sony were like chirping away to Eurogamer saying they had to like protect their sort of their customers' interests. But there's now sort of a follow-up like prequel rumour which has sort of come out, which is basically actually maybe it was due to the fact that they were looking at it and then it all kind of went and then maybe that's why the whole Sony having to defend themselves thing came. I love the rumour mill. It's out there.
I don't doubt that, because it hasn't been announced for PC yet, has it?
Nope.
So that's, I mean, I'm thinking they might have delayed it so they can go megaton. Oh, by the way, it's releasing on Steam tomorrow.
Bang.
And literally, you want to create a fucking wave. If somebody wants to cripple Steam,
if somebody wants to cripple the whole world, because how many sick days would drop?
But I could see crossplay between PC and thing, or delaying for a PC release simultaneously.
Who knows? So, Switch this summer getting itself a little release of a classic game which has made its way to a few consoles now, Sin Mora, but the EX version. So just a great side-scrolling shooter, beautiful game. Rock hard, if you're your kind of Ikaruga / you prefer R-type going sideways sort of kind of guy. Get on
bullet hell fucking shmup.
Yeah. But if you're hardcore and you love it, then have a look because it's amazing.
Is it Ghana as well? It's coming to the Switch as well, isn't it?
Really?
Yeah, it's another one. It released, I think, 2014, 2015, something like that. Swedish team, but yeah, absolutely gorgeous. It looks amazing. It looks like just one of these really quirky little time, but again, rock hard.
Yeah. Cool. So, right, Link, I want you to prepare yourself because this one's out of fucking nowhere. So either Ubisoft are either having some sort of spasm or they've just finally accepted that Watch Dogs 2 was a flop because they launched it in the wrong place and they
at the wrong time. And they pulled a John McClane in Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
You were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I think as much as anything, they just kind of went, do you know what? The first game bombed so hard, no matter how good we make this game, we have not got a chance. No. It's just got a crippling name attached. But yeah, so they've just gone, look, okay, we get it. This thing's bollocks, ain't worth a penny. Take the DLC for free. Yeah. So update 1.6 coming out, and they're supposed to all be paid for, and they've just gone, look, we know...
What happens to people who bought the season pass?
They get it for free as well.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, sure does. But if you're stupid enough to buy that game, like me.
Well, to be fair, it was actually very well received.
It was a great game.
Yeah,
They
improved a lot of the things that were bad about the first one.
Fuck Ubisoft. They made a shit game in the first instance. They made loads of promises and failed, and now they're just trying to fulfill on those promises. I'm not buying a game twice. Fuck you, even though I did it. Damn it. Anyway, moving
Have you
swiftly
pre-ordered
on.
Destiny 2 yet?
Yes. Shadow of the Colossus.
Fumito Ueda.
I'm glad you picked that name up because I was struggling with it. Basically, he's just said, hey, there's a list of changes I would like to see done on my game. So if you're remaking it, here's the list, boys.
To be fair, I think that Blue Point, the cats who obviously are taking care of it, will be like, thank you very much, Ueda-san.
I hope they're smart enough to do that because basically when he was being interviewed, they said, well, what specifically did you ask them? Like, I'm not saying anything because if they don't fold any of it in and then the fan base like or dislike or they do, he said it's just going to blow up. Yeah. So fair play to him. But
I think it's a case of once it's released, he'll be like, I told them that.
Yeah, or he'll be like 6 weeks after it was released and it flops, he'll be like, yeah, they didn't put anything in that I said for them to do. Brutal. But yeah, so who knows? Let's see what happens.
Looking forward to the release. It's next year sometime, isn't it?
Can't wait. The Long Reach.
The Long Reach.
Yeah, so basically this is sort of a side-scrolling...
Is that... I was going to say it's one of these fucking... The Sony Xbox crossplay.
Well, no. So, the Long...
I mean, you've already done that one, haven't you?
Long Reach. So basically this is side-scrolling... It's weird. It's like... It's a run, hide for your life sort of 2D 8-bit style horror-esque. Recently we've been talking about The Last Night, and it's of that ilk, but a lot more simpler, a lot more basic. Just been announced, PlayStation 4, Xbox. I love the way they're chucking it in like this now. They say PlayStation 4, Xbox, Switch and PC.
Yeah.
So like Switch is like straight in there. Yeah, I'm a player now actually, if you don't know. But yeah,
you want to shit your pants on the train and look a fool? You can.
Yeah, exactly.
How many people? It's going to create a riot in the quiet section.
Well,
like how many YouTube videos is like, I'm going to go and play this noisy game on my Switch in the quiet section on a British public train.
The thing is when you, I've seen some of the videos and you just see your character like doing it sort of slow, like run along the screen with stuff in front and stuff behind, and then just people coming up behind with like pipes and being like clunk around the back of the head and then just like beating your character to death. Like that's on the Switch. But anyway, there we go.
Would you like to join me?
The Long Reach, it's out there. Now then, this one I found really interesting as my final little wrap up on the roundup. So apparently Microsoft held back at E3. So an interview with Phil Spencer on Waypoint, that he was saying like effectively we've signed some documents recently, which are some big announcements, stuff that get people very, very excited. We said we're not going to do it because he said it'd be very easy for me to just chuck a video up on the screen and get everybody all super excited for something I know is like 2.5-3 years away.
Yeah,
he's like,
they've learned a lesson from Scalebound.
Yeah, and he's just like, it's just not fair on people, so we're not going to do it.
Gamescom instead.
Yeah, but,
that's only 2.5 years.
Yeah, but generally, I think that's just such an amazing attitude to have. Like gamers respect that. They're like, yeah, that's what we want.
I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? Nintendo, I think, did the right thing with Metroid Prime, because I kind of think, and with Pokemon, because the fucking outcry when they announced Pokemon DX.
Yeah, I know. What the fuck are you doing?
This isn't the fucking Pokemon we wanted, you wankers.
I will cut your face and spit in it.
I'd hate to have seen some of the emails.
Oh,
I really
brutal.
do. And the Twitter fucking
hardcore
replies.
I love all these people collecting these cute Pokemon just turn into fucking rabid feral animals the second they don't get what they want. Fuck you, but, I need my Mewtwo.
They didn't fucking dress it up with any flashy CGI fucking bullshit. It was just like, here's the dude that's sort of kind of making it, and he's telling you we're making it.
Yeah, here's the mug.
And there's his Metroid Prime 4, we're making it.
Yeah, there we go.
Weird music.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's it. And it's like, boom, mic drop. Fuck it, we've done. Oh, Mario turns into a frog.
Yeah, flap. So there it is then, folks. Another wrap for another week. Bullet Bill's Big 3 coming to you and closing out. So a pretty tasty little news selection this week.
Yeah, some exciting stuff hopefully from Microsoft.
Yeah, man, I'm really hoping we're going to get some more tidbits along the way.
That aren't Halo.
Yeah. Right, so folks, you know where we are. If you like what you heard, show some like, show some love, get that little flick on the bit below. And also, you know, there's more podcasts out there, so have a little nose, have a peruse of the Eat Sleep Game stuff. So from Angry Link, it's...
Adios.
And from me, I'm out, so peace.